Israeli generals would perhaps say, don't be naive and don't expect us to be naive. Hamas Article 2 of the Charter says the Muslim Brotherhood is part of us and we're part of the Muslim Brotherhood. No. Israelis would say that, the government would say they sealed the Gaza crossing to stop the movement of weapons. So Gaza is going to stay shut, whoever's in power in Egypt.
Yes, I think that this is the situation. I think that anyway, they were saying that the Muslim Brotherhood can, take over in Egypt, and it would mean that the relationship between Egypt and Hamas is going to change, so Israel would be facing, instability and a new way, new opposition. I think that this is not going to happen. This was statements and slogans to help them to control the situation, and this is what is happening now. And once again, even with Hamas and the way it's used now to be demonized and to help them, the Israeli, to carry on their policy on the ground with settlements. This is something that we have also to assess, because they are instrumentalizing Islamism today. Any kind of Islamism, from terrorism to legalists to people who have been elected. They have been elected to use this as a threat and to exploit this as a means for them to carry on their policy. And I think that this is where, for us, from where we are in the West, we have to be critical, and we have just to show how much there is hypocrisy in all this, political statements.
One of the methods that Israel and America has used in which to frighten members of the public about instability in the Middle East is an apparent link between Hamas and Iran, and now it'll be Hamas, they'll be saying Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, and Iran. Is there an outside pressure, in your opinion, on Islamists on these new revolutions, or are they going to be free for the people to decide what happens?
No, I don't think that they are going to be free, and all this discussion, everything, all this, pressure and political pressure, media coverage, just showing, be careful. What is happening now in Egypt is what happened in Iran. So it's going to be an Islamic Republic, and Islamic Republic means that they will have connection now within Palestine, Egypt, Iran, Lebanon with Hezbollah. So it's, once again, the international Islamist network, and now putting Israel in danger, and putting Israel in danger mean the Western interest. I think that all this is just to help them to justify why, for example, at the beginning, they were not so happy with all these movements coming from, people saying no to dictators, and to justify their connection with dictatorships, and to come with, periphery, at the periphery, to speak about, women's rights and democracy and secular, and not to speak about interest, not to speak about geostrategic, perception of the reality. At the center, this is what the question is. And I was happy to listen to Noam Chomsky, who said, look, don't tell us that you are scared of Islamists. When you needed them, you were dealing with them in Afghanistan and everywhere. The point is that you don't want these countries to be independent, because independencies, for them, independence means that they are going to question the kind of relationship you have with the dictators before and with their future.
There was a great piece by the legendary Robert Fisk, the writer, and he said that had Obama on day 2 or 3 of the demonstrations in Tahrir Square come out and said, I'm with you, brothers, America backs whatever the people decide, they would be, maybe the Egyptians would be waving American flags in Tahrir Square. Do you think he's delegitimized himself even further in the eyes of the Middle East, or is there still a chance for strong links between a new government in Egypt, whoever it is, and Barack Obama, for example?
I'm less optimistic than that, and I think that people are thinking that he was clumsy in the way he dealt with the whole thing. I think exactly the opposite. I think that he was very clever, very smart in the way he dealt with it, saying, oh, we are not involved in this, and saying, oh, Mubarak is going to step down, and then he didn't just a few hours later, as if he was not involved, as if the US administration was not involved. And in my opinion, from day one, they were connected and they were involved with one
Are you saying
segment.
that? Are you saying that you think the American government approved of cars crashing into demonstrators? And
no, not everything. No, to control the direction doesn't mean that they are controlling everything, but they were with one segment of the army, knowing that this army. I think that the decision for the army not to react and to be in between, it's coming from Washington. I don't think it's coming from them, and they did exactly the same in Tunisia.
So do you, in your opinion, then Washington is still controlling the Egyptian army, which is controlling the people?
Yes. And I think that this is why I'm very, very cautious. I'm happy, but I don't think it's the end of the story. And my perception from the very beginning is that the American administration was playing a win-win game. If he is going to survive, he's going to be very weak, Mubarak, so we will have our interests protected. But if he's not going to survive, we have other people, and we need to go through this. So I think that at the end of the day, and not only from a political perspective, we have to be very cautious. We very often look at, Egypt and the dictator from a political angle. There are lots of economic interest and geostrategic interest there with transnational corporation. And Mubarak and his son were very rich and controlling. To remove them from the economic side and to give some freedom from the political side could be a very smart American strategy.
Let me just ask you, after 15 years, do you feel safe enough to go back to Egypt now, and what sort of role would you play, if you can?
No, I would like to go, of course, but I think it's too early. I don't trust what is happening, and my role is, I don't have the Egyptian nationality and passport. My role is just as someone who is trying to share views and to be involved in anything which has to do with independence for the Muslim majority countries, to play that role and to go back to my father's place, because I wasn't able to just pray on his river.
Tariq Ramadan, thank you very much. Well, a transition period in Egypt, but goodbye from us here at Face to Face. See you next time.